evening. Melissa Johnson here for episode 40 of Melissa Loves to Talk. Today is January 8th, 2026. And what I'm going to talk about today is probably going to end up getting me canceled, but um I just got to say it just because my life has been this and it's getting a little old. So, first, I am going to talk about today is the Super Bowl. If you are watching the Super Bowl and would like to watch a halftime show that you can understand and who won't be disgusting and dressing in drag and burning American flags, you can tune into Turning Point USA. It will be on pretty much all social media. I've looked it up to make sure it was on certain things that will be on Rumble, YouTube, X, whatever you can watch. It's pretty much on there. If you have cable, it is on TBN. It's on Real America's Voice. Pretty much anything you can find, it should be on there. So tune into that instead of the disgusting filth that will be on the NFL halftime show. So there's my little plug for that. So, anyway, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself just in case I haven't really talked about some of this before. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, in Baltimore City. I did not grow up in the inner city. So it was a little bit different where I grew up. It's a really small state, but Baltimore City was a pretty big area of the state. Probably takes up, at least a third of the state. I feel like it was very big. So we lived on one side of Baltimore City until I was 10 or 11. And then we moved to the other side of Baltimore City where I grew up. Originally, it was Remington. We moved into Hollandtown. And then I lived there until I was 18. And then we moved into another part of Baltimore City, which was Canton. So it's just, different parts of Baltimore City, just little different areas. I guess towns they call it in the South. There, I guess we didn't call it towns. I don't know. It went by zip codes, just because there was so many people in Baltimore City. They had towns. They had, a whole bunch of zip codes. So anyway, so when I lived in Remington, I lived in pretty much an all white neighborhood. There were some Asians that lived across the street. I think there was maybe one or two houses full. They lived kind of catty corner from me. My school though was probably 80% black, 20% white. I will say about that. I don't know. I don't really remember. You're talking many, many years ago. But when we moved to Highlandtown, the neighborhood was still pretty much majority white. But the elementary school there was predominantly white also. Okay. Then when I went to high school, I went to a school that I was not zoned for because I had really good grades. So I went to a middle school that was not in my zone, and had to catch the bus, which was, the public bus, public transportation, not the school bus. And, you could see whoever on that bus. And then my school was probably maybe 50-50. It was about 50-50, the middle school. And then when I went to high school, I went to also one of the top public high schools in the country. It was all girls then. I don't know if it's still girls. It was a public high school. So technically boys could go there, but no boys ever did. It was just all girls. The school next to us at one point was all boys, but then it was co-ed when I was in high school. So at this point, my school was probably 70-30, 80-20, black to white. So 70 or 80% black, 20 to 30% white. Okay, if you understand. Again, this is on the other side of Baltimore City where I grew up. So it was closer to Remington where I grew up. It was called Hamden. If anybody's on here, they'll know what I'm talking about if they're from there. And then the school next door, the co-ed, it was probably more white. It might have been like 60-40. It was a little bit more white people. I don't know why. It was a pretty equal school. Like, you had to be smart to go to either school. You had to stay, have a good GPA, all that stuff. But the other school was more for like science and stuff. So more boys went there. And I guess that was why it was originally an all boys school. But of course it was a public school, so girls could go there. Same thing as my high school. It was all girls, but boys could go there. Boys just never did, because back then you would be considered gay. It was weird, blah, 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 blah. But I think after I've graduated, I think boys go there now. Actually, not sure. I haven't been that way in many, many years. But growing up, like I said, I didn't live in neighborhoods where there were not, it was mostly white people. But I did go to school. There were times when I was, called names, called racist, blah, 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 blah. It never bothered me. It was like, whatever. I knew I wasn't. Okay. If you know you're not, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother me for people to call me a Nazi, a racist, a white supremacist, because I'm not that person. That's not me. So when you call me it, it's not hurting my feelings. I'm not like crying myself to sleep at night. I don't really care, because I know I'm not that way. So what I'm saying all this to say is, this is how I grew up. I'm not living a different life because I'm a conservative and I voted for Trump. I'm not living a different life. This is the life that I've pretty much lived all my life. I didn't get called lots of names. It just here and there. It wasn't like now. Now I get attacked all the time, being called racist, a Nazi, a white supremacist, whatever. And again, I'm not that way, so it doesn't bother me, because I know the truth. I know I love everyone. I don't care what color you are. Okay. So it never bothers me. It's whatever. But apparently, the other side of the aisle thinks that everything's racist and gets offended by everything and has to cry about it. And I'm going to show you some videos of some Black people that are sharing things to show you that it doesn't always have to be about race. That's what I'm saying. Why does everything have to be about race? Because it works. It's worked for 255 years. Okay. So they just keep reusing the same stuff because it works. It keeps dividing us. It keeps us at each other's throats. Okay. It doesn't unify. They don't want us unified because we outnumber them. So that's why they keep us divided, so that we can't come after them, the ones that cause the division. So that's why I'm going to show you a couple videos. I know everyone has seen part of this video, but has not seen the whole video. And I'm going to show you people's commentary about the video. You probably already know what I'm going to show. But again, I'm going to show you the whole beginning of the video, not the end, because the end's not important. The beginning's the important part. So I'm going to show you what it is that they left out when you look the video up. The important part, what the left doesn't want you to see. That's what you haven't seen. So I'm going to show you that part, and I'm going to show you the commentary from people that are Black and let them tell you what they think about it.
Posted on President Trump's Truth Social page depicts the Obamas as apes. This has sparked bipartisan outrage, but there's much more to the story. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a controversial video posted to President Trump's Truth Social page in which the Obamas were depicted as apes. Now, I did not want to do this video, but it is blown up all over the place. I'm seeing it. ABC, CBS, CNN, TMZ. Everybody is posting the video, but they're not posting the entire video. The whole video is about stolen election data. It's about 1 minute and 2 seconds long. At the very last second, a brief snippet of a video pops up, clearly by mistake. And if you don't know about Twitter, the way it works is you could be watching the video, and once that video completes, it auto scrolls to the next video. So obviously what happened is somebody was screen recording to get the election video. The other video pops up, and they don't really bother to clip it out properly. They kind of just throw it up haphazardly. And if you go to Truth Social, most of the videos on there are kind of haphazard. You got TikTok videos with the logos on it. You got all kind of stuff happening, probably because you got an intern or some very low paid person doing the content, because who's on Truth Social anymore anyway? Not very many people. Now, before I go any further, let's get straight to the original video in context. I will link to this video in the description box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit the link in the bio. Go to the correspondence.
I'm sorry, I cannot do that because I don't have Truth Social. So if you want to go look it up, you can look him up and go to his link, or if you have Truth Social, you can look it up.
Corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Initiated by a court order, the Michigan investigation team obtained forensic access to a DS-200 tabulator, the machine that counts the votes. A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard. The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020 general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states. These were all where the software, Dominion machines, ES&S machines were used, the Smartmatic, the GEMS software. So when the vote stopped counting, and this has been noted in other countries as well, President Trump was significantly ahead. When reporting and counting resumed, there was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden.
Okay, that's the full video. You could tell, obviously, that this was a mistake because it auto-scrolled. Let's go back and see that one more time. Okay, here's toward the end. I got the sound off, obviously, and boom, it scrolls up. Okay, you can see the animation. Can I play this a little bit slower so you can see the animation a little bit better? All right, I think that'll work out well for you. See? It just popped to the next video, and then they realized, oops, we didn't want to have that. So they scrolled right back to the other video, and then they ended it. You see? Now, what should have happened is that last piece, that last little second, that right there should have been cut. It should have been cut right there, but it didn't do that. It just uploaded it. And like I said, if you go to Truth Social, most of the videos on there are like that. TikTok logos on the stuff. It's just kind of haphazard. Okay? Now, let's go to this actual video. I'm going to play it without the sound because copyright. I'm not trying to have that on my channel. But let's see the full video, the full meme video that was not posted in full on Trump's page. Because some think that Trump posted this No, he just posted the video about the election data, and this video came up automatically after that on X Twitter. Okay, so here we got Barack and Michelle as monkeys, and there's a few more politicians in the video. I'm gonna show you the whole thing to give full. Okay, Hakeem Jeffries, Hillary as the warthog. You got AOC and Gavin Newsom. Was it donkeys? Okay, and you got who's this? You got JB Pritzker as an elephant. You have Adam Schiff as a giraffe because of the long neck. Okay, who else we got? We have Mamdani as a cheetah. And you have, what's that, Chuck Schumer as a zebra. And then, oh, look at this. This is pretty interesting. How about that? You have Kamala as a turtle, not a monkey, although some say she's black. And here you have Joe Biden as a monkey or a baboon or whatever that is, right? Okay, eating a banana. Okay. Here we have Hakeem. What's that? Is that a meerkat? Hakeem Jeffries, not a monkey. He black. They go Trump as a lion. So you have all the political people as, you know, I forget what this is. She's like some kind of activist. I don't think she's really a politician. But you got a lot of politicians and those linked to politics as animals and stuff like this. And I guess the whole thing is Lion King. You got Harry Sisson as a flamingo. That's funny. You know, so you can send a general idea. Okay, Whoopi Goldberg. What's that? A rhinoceros? Harry again as a flamingo. Or is that a rhino? Yeah, it's a rhino. So now we got the whole team. But no Obama's on this one. But you can see what's going on. It's a parody video of the political people. A parody AI video, political people. Now, some are going to find it funny. Some are going to find it racist. But guess what? It really doesn't matter because this video was not posted at all. Like, the only thing that was posted in this video was this beginning piece by mistake. The whole 1 minute meme video was not posted on Trump's page. Okay, so it doesn't even matter if this video is racist or not. It was clearly a mistake for any of it to be posted. Posted on President Trump's Truth Social page depicts the Obamas as apes. This has sparked bipartisan outrage, but
Okay, so that's his opinion. He's not offended. He's just explaining the video. Again, he's saying the beginning of the video was about voter fraud. That's what President Trump and his team was trying to post. He explained how Twitter works. Again, I don't use it, so I don't know. That's why I'm showing what he says, because I could not tell you. So he wasn't offended. He wasn't mad. He wasn't outraged about it. I didn't watch this full thing, but I am going to show it just because, again, he's not outraged either.
So I see this latest episode of Erzat racial strife over a technical glitch in a silly video is really bringing out the worst in people. Again, the media devils have encouraged phony outrage directly in the face of real problems which have existed for decades. And I say this directly to Black Americans. Why? Because where's your outrage over the millions of dead Black babies killed in the womb by an organization dedicated to destroying your race, whose innocent blood stains this nation like wine from the hand of a drunkard on fine linen? Where's your outrage over the thousands and thousands of young Black men murdered by other young Black men in cities big and small, over corners they don't own, and over drugs they didn't bring here, whose blood stains the streets of our nation like the blood of foreign wars of the past? And where's your outrage over the millions of deadbeats who don't shed blood but turn their backs on it, leaving the women they impregnated and their blood-born heirs struggling to survive and greatly diminishing their ability to thrive? You know, I say these things not in anger, because doing wrong towards others for anger's sake only does wrong by Christ, who died for our sake. Rather, I say these things for conscience sake, that maybe someone will hear this and realize that a media dedicated to the cause of rancor for revenue and politicians dedicated to revenge for renewal should not guide our thinking. Let's instead be guided by honesty, so that we may gain wisdom. Not the wisdom of Google and the gaggle that gives us these problems, but the wisdom of God, which gives us peace. Well, maybe not peace between each other always, of course, but peace of mind, which will indeed always pass all understanding. So I see this latest episode of Erzat racial strife over a technical glitch in a silly video is really bringing out the worst in people. Again, the media devils have encouraged phony outrage directly in the face of...
Sorry about that. It shouldn't have kept playing, but it did. And I went to show you something else, but I'll just skip that and I'll come back. I am going to show you now he is going to show the video again, but I just want you to hear his response to the video. He is also black, and I want you to see his response to the video also.
Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Will Johnson, and this is the Culture Wars.
Machine that counts the votes. A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard. The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020 general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states. These were all where the software, Dominion machines, ESNS machines were used, the Smartmatic, the GEMS software. So when the vote stopped counting, and this has been noted in other countries as well, President Trump was significantly ahead. When reporting and counting resumed, there was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden. Machine that counts the votes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, hold on. I got to stop it there. I got to put it there. Oh my goodness. Have y'all seen this? They're losing their minds. Oh my goodness, they're losing their minds. You know, I saw this last year. Someone created this meme, and President Trump, they're losing their minds over this right now. Oh my goodness, I saw this. I'm like, what? Because see, I was sitting there watching it, talking about the election and everything, and bam, it hit in there really quick. They're losing their minds over this. I mean, they really are. Every single network, oh my goodness, President Trump is racist. He's racist. You know how many times they called President Trump a Nazi? You know how many times they called President Trump Hitler? You know how many times they said he was a white supremacist? You know how many times they said that he assaulted women, that he raped little children? You know how many times they said all of this crap about President Trump? And all he did was share this video that someone put together with Obama and Michelle Obama at the end of it. I mean, really. And then what I'm really noticing, a lot of black people are posting this and they're asking the question, Will Johnson, what do you have to say about this? You know my response? You know what my response is? Are you telling me you don't believe in evolution now? Now you don't believe in evolution? Don't y'all all believe that we came from monkeys? Remember monkey? I mean, really, all of these leftist lunatic liberals that reject God, they all believe that we came from monkeys. I mean, so how was this offensive? If you believe that we came from monkeys, how was this offensive? You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I like President Trump's sense of humor. I really do.
Okay, so there you have it. When he said that, I did remember that this was an old video. So they were probably just somebody retweeted it and it popped up, whatever happened. He explained. He's like, this was an old video. It must have just popped up. Okay. Again, I don't know. I have just started learning about technology. So I don't use Twitter. I don't use Truth Social. I don't use any of that. So I don't know how it works. That's why I wanted to play things from people that knew what they were doing and understand it. Because if I do it, I wouldn't even be telling you probably accurate stuff. So what they said was, hey, he was showing you the results from 2020 election. Because you have to remember, they got all those files from Fulton County. And they have more evidence from other counties because they're going into all the counties of the swing states. That's where they're starting, because that's where all the trouble was. You know, it flooded, the machines went down, there was, the power went out. It was all different things, and it happened all in the swing states. So they're going back and they're finding all the fraud. They don't want people to know about the fraud, so they're trying to cover it up. This little mistake happened, so that takes away from the fraud. They're using it. They're like, oh my goodness, we can use this, cover up the fraud, cover up the fraud. Because I can guarantee you, most of the people that have seen the Lion King video haven't seen the fraud video. That's why I played it. Because before the video came out on all the social media, I hadn't seen it yet, and I saw it on his podcast first. And then, because I pretty much watch podcasts all day from pretty much 7:30 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, either to get news. There's some of them, you know, it's some devotionals, it's all different stuff. So when I saw his podcast and he showed that video, that was the first time I had seen the election video. And then it popped up with that part, which of course that didn't show the whole video. It showed just the little bleep, and you'd have to go somewhere else to find the video. So context matters. People just post stuff and then people believe it because they don't do research. They just are like outraged by the outrage. Okay. So this is why I'm doing this, because people want to be like, oh my gosh, that was so racist. Okay. Trump's team didn't make it. It popped up right after the video of the fraud. The other video, like Will Johnson said, came out last year. Someone else did that, not them. It just happened to pop up because you know how stuff resurfaces. It does it all the time. I'll see stuff that was from last year and everyone's posting about it. I'm like, this is last year. Why are we posting about stuff from last year? They think it's happening right now. I'm like, no, this is old. This is from last year. Because if you have a lot of friends, you know what I mean? Like people just keep reposting, and finally it'll start to repost and recirculate. And people think it's new and it's old. And that's what happened here with this video. Okay. Of course, the fraud part is new because this is stuff that's just coming out. And then the little bleep. That's why two different people said the exact same thing. It was a little bit of accident. It wasn't on purpose. Okay. So you have, again, two black guys are not offended. They're not saying it's racist, blah, 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 blah. They're saying it's ridiculous. It's funny. Oh man, I am going to go back and look at that other video because I really like it. Let me go to it because I really like it. Sorry, I got to go the long way because I logged out. This is Sean Farish. If you don't know him, he does an awesome Trump voice. Okay, not that one. That one's good too, but I want to show you this one. The other one's
all right, y'all,
about
stop
fraud.
asking me about this Trump video. Let me tell you something right now. If there is nobody on earth that is like if you thought Trump was racist before, you're just always going to think that he's racist. And if you don't think that he's racist, you're never going to think that he's racist. So this video, or whatever other little thing that liberals want everybody to be upset about, or trying to drive the news cycle about, or trying to get us all ginned up about, if at this stage in the game you don't understand how this all works, I literally have absolutely nothing to tell you. I do not get worked up about liberal media hoaxes, because liberals do not tell me what I'm supposed to think, how I'm supposed to think, when I'm supposed to think it, or what I am supposed to react to. And everybody that is out here reacting to all of this stuff, you are telling me that you're still playing these games that we all should have been done with playing years and years and years ago. So if you're a conservative and you're reacting to this stuff, you are controlled by liberals. I am not controlled by liberals. These people do not tell me what to think, how to think, what I'm supposed to have a reaction to, what I am supposed to think is or isn't racist, anything like that. So if you're reacting to this stuff, you're actually a part of the problem. All right, y'all, stop asking me about this Trump video. Let me
So there you go. My thoughts exactly is this is the go around. Like he said, this is stuff we should have stopped talking about years ago, and it just keeps coming back and back and back and back. It never stops. Okay? It needs to stop. When will it stop? No one knows. I guess that's the whole problem right here. It's like, stop trying to cover up the fraud, because that's where it comes to. As soon as something comes up, let's make something racist. They do it every time. The Epstein files, they came out. The liberal media is not even talking about it. I thought they wanted all the files released. The Epstein list got released. The people that went to the island, 3 million files got released. We haven't heard about that. Oh, because we got to cover it up. We can't talk about that because why? The Democrats are all in it. They're the ones that went to the island. You can pull the list up. It's all public. You can see the list. It's all Democrats, no Republicans. Okay? This is why they haven't talked about it. They begged and begged for it to get released because they thought Trump was in it. Now Trump's not in it. Oh my goodness. What are we going to do? We got to go to the next thing. And the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Because this is what they do. Instead of telling the truth. They never tell you the truth. They just throw the racist. About voter ID. Here we go with voter ID.
He already is. And by the way, you can't fly without a real ID. You can't rent a car without a real ID. You can't buy tobacco. You can't buy alcohol. You can't rent a house, buy a house. You can't open a bank account. You can't open a savings account. You can't even invest. You can't even sign up for government programs without an ID. And yet the Democrats somehow, if it's to go to voting, it's racist, Jim Crow 2.0, but yet you can't do anything else without an ID. It is absolutely absurd because they want to rig the elections in their favor.
And we all know why. Just think through this. Why did the Democrats open up the border during the Biden era, allow 25 million illegal aliens into the country? Why did the Democrats make a collective of sanctuary cities and sanctuary states protecting these illegal?
Democrats support requiring an ID to vote. Why are they wrong?
I haven't said that they're wrong. We know.
Okay, so you saw who wants voter ID. I'll show you the graph again. All Americans, 83%, 71 Democrats. But they won't pass it to have voter ID. If you haven't heard the newest thing, okay, back to women, okay? You don't know what a woman is. You don't know if a woman can have a baby or if a man can have a baby, sorry. But you want to say women don't know how to change their name, so they can't vote because their name doesn't match their ID, whatever the junk they said. Okay, I've been married twice. I've changed my name twice. I've never had a problem vote. I've been voting for 30 years. I've never had a problem voting. I changed my name. I am not stupid because I'm a woman. I guess that's what they think about women. Women are stupid. They don't know how to change their name to get an ID. Okay? Not true. This is what they do over and over. There's another video I'm going to show tomorrow, and it shows where people, it shows demographically on how people want voter ID and illegals deported. Okay? I know it's so controversial, but it's not, because it's majority of people. I was playing all these videos, so I didn't want to pull that up to show you more videos and more graphs. But it's majority of people, but they want to say it's racist, it's sexist, it's this, it's that, because this is their voter base. The illegals are their voter base. Okay, you should not be able to vote if you're here illegally. Okay, you're here illegally, but you shouldn't be able to vote. That's where I'm at with it. Please don't vote if you're illegal. So this is what we do over and over. You are correct. It's a Marxist tactic. Sorry, I have a little stutter. Some words are really hard for me to say. Tactic. So I know this is what they do over and over and over and over. Okay. My shirt says, "If my people pray." That's literally what it comes down to. Okay. We have got to pray. I am 100% on board. Nothing's going to change if we're not praying. Okay. I understand that, but we also have to vote. Okay. So we have to vote. We have to pray first and vote. Okay. Nothing's going to change if you're not praying and doing. Okay. Praying doesn't do it all, because you have to have an action. Okay. That's the way it works. So yes, pray first. Always pray. You're going to pray about helping the country. What helps the country? Okay. You see what's happened with the new Democrats that got elected. So we don't want that. Okay. They're already showing you what they're going to do when they come to power. A different Democrat's not going to do something different. Okay. We've seen it for years and years and years. They all do the same thing. I'm going to take Maryland. I lived there for 34 years. Okay. They all do the same thing. They raise taxes. They raise the tolls because there's tunnels and bridges. They raise the tolls. They raise the taxes. They just raised the price of registering your car and getting new tags. They just raised that again, because that's what they do. They raise taxes. They raise fees. They raise this. That's what they do. It doesn't change because it's a different Democrat. I know that's what they say. Some of them are like, "Oh, I'll just vote for a different Democrat." You're going to get the same thing. I'll say it over and over. Where I live, it's Republican. It runs totally different. When I go visit home, it's like a different world. Like I stepped into a different dimension, and it's the same country. It's just a blue state over a red state. It's like COVID. Everything's shut down up there. I went there. They're like, "You can't come in here without a mask." I said, "I have not wore a mask in a year." Because in Georgia, nothing shut down. Everything stayed open. Not one thing shut. There was no mask mandate. I went to Maryland. Like, "You can't come in the grocery store without a mask on." Well, I won't be coming in your grocery store if I have to wear a mask, because in Georgia, I didn't have to wear a mask. It's the same thing. It's who's running. It doesn't change because it's a different Democrat. They all have the same playbook. You can listen to them talk. They all repeat the same sentences, the same thing over. It's like a broken record. Just like the media. You watch the media, they say the exact thing over. All of them say the same thing. It's like they all get an email. this is what we're talking about today. And they all say the exact same thing. Sorry, I don't have a script and no one emails me and tells me what to say. I say whatever I say. Okay. I know some people don't like that, but you don't have to watch. That's fine. I'm still going to say it. So we need to pray, and we need to be praying. I mean, we need to be voting for leaders that are actually going to do what they say they're going to do, or at least do what we want them to do at least half the time. Can we get at least half the time? Okay. I want 100%, but come on. No one's perfect. Jesus isn't here. Okay. No one's perfect. So we know they're not going to vote 100% with us, but I have to give it to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes. Not happy with the way she left, but she voted with the Republicans 97% of the time. I have to give it to her. 97% of the time she voted with Republicans. The other 3%, I think the one thing, I don't know if I would have voted on it. You know, it just depends. You know, it's things she didn't want, and that's fine. But 97% of the time she voted with Republicans. Most of the people that are in there vote between 70 and 80% with the Republicans if they're Republican. But guess what the Democrats do? Probably 98% they vote with the Democrats. You'll have the ones here and there that'll vote with Republicans, because we've seen them a couple of times here and there vote with Republicans. But guess what? They get backlash. They get threatened. They get all kinds of stuff happen to them because they didn't vote with their party. Okay, we're not going to do that, but we are going to make you accountable because you're not voting for things that we voted. We voted unanimously for Trump. That means we want his policies implemented. Okay? No one can really say he's not doing his job because his policies aren't being passed. So it's not him right now. All he can do is executive orders. The executive orders run out. So he's trying as hard as he can. As hard as he can. He's, making these executive orders. They just need to implement them. Just like the drug prices he just brought down. You won't hear about that. Even Ozempic, diabetes medicine he's brought down. I'm waiting for EpiPens because I haven't bought my son new EpiPens because they're $600. So I'm waiting for EpiPens, but there's a lot of things he's doing. It's just he can't do everything. So we need to get people in there that will help get this country to get our prices down, to get things going the way they should, the way our country should run. So I know it takes time. That's another thing. I know things take time. This country didn't get the way it was in 1 year. It wasn't even 4 years. It was 12 years, 13 years, 15 years. It's been years. Okay. We know the 4 years when the border was open, inflation was 9%, gas was $4 a gallon. We know that. But other stuff has made it bad too, not just those things. So stop listening to all the stuff that tells you all these things that don't matter. It really doesn't matter. Okay. Honestly, do you care if people are racist? I saw this thing today. It was a cheese commercial, a cheese ad. I guess it was like hanging up in a grocery store. And it was like, crackers love cheese. It was a white woman holding crackers and cheese. And it says, are you offended? Honestly, I thought it was hilarious. I wasn't offended because it says crackers love cheese. And it was a white woman holding cheese and crackers. No, wasn't offended. It was pretty funny because I knew where they were going with it. It's like Cracker Barrel. I'm surprised they don't say anything about that because it says cracker. It's just the same tactics over and over. What's important is our country becoming not a constitutional republic. That's what's important, Right now, we have a constitution that gives us lots and lots of freedoms that separates us from other countries. That's what's important, holding on to our constitutional republic. So we have all these freedoms. There's 26 amendments. So this is all the freedoms that we have and all the security that we have in this country. That's what's important, holding on to that. All the other stuff is just noise that's telling you all the stuff to keep you focused on that instead of what's important, so they can take our country away. Okay? You can look at all the other countries. They've done the same thing with those and it's worked. We keep fighting them, so it's not working. You know, why do people run to this country, get in here illegally? To get away from their communist country. Why would we want a communist country when they're fleeing a communist country? That just goes to show they're fleeing there. That means we don't want it. We want freedoms. I wouldn't be able to do this in a communist country because women have no rights in communist countries. Women have no rights. I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to have a job. I wouldn't be able to drive. I mean, people don't think about that because they don't know, they don't research, they don't look it up, how communist countries actually run. Women have no rights there. Women are less than. Okay? That's why people flee. People swim here. So you don't leave a country that's running great swimming to get to a country that's not great. This is a great country and they're trying to destroy it. This is how the tactics work. Divide, distract, keep people focused on other things, and then we don't see what they're doing, which is what they did for 50 years. And that's how we got where we are, because everyone was distracted. You know, like I say all the time, I wish women didn't work. I wish that we could go back to men worked, women stayed home. And people are like, oh, that's so like sexist, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, I mean, why would a woman want to work when you can sit home, you can cook and clean? Once the kids go to school, you don't have to do anything. As long as the house is clean and dinner's ready, you can sit around and watch TV all day instead of working a job for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, busting your butt, then coming home, taking care of kids. But I don't want to lose all my rights. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to drive. I want to be able to vote, you know? Anyway, so please vote. Please pray. Please stay focused on what's important. All the stuff that they're trying to cloud is not important. Okay? Like I said, I know everybody was worried about the Epstein files, and I kept saying, please stop talking about the Epstein files because you're not going to find what you want. Nothing's going to happen. I mean, eventually people might go to jail. Eventually things will happen, but it's not going to happen as soon as the list gets released, as soon as the files get released. No one's getting locked up. It's a distraction. Again, yes, I want these people to be accountable. Yes, I want people to be arrested. But again, it takes time. It's not going to happen in 5 seconds. We need to be focused on what's important right now. Look at other countries that are run by socialist, because that's what they try to say it as. I mean, look at the cities right now that are run by Mondami, and why I can't remember this governor's name, I don't know. Virginia. I cannot remember her name for some reason, but look what they're doing. She added 50 new taxes. You have to have a tax to walk your dog, to do dry cleaning. I mean, right there, evidence. I don't have to give you any more evidence than that. That's it. Right there. So please do research. If you don't want to take my advice, do research. You can Google anything I've said. Everything is public knowledge that I'm saying. I don't have any inside information. This is public stuff. I'm not like, I wish I had some inside information, but I don't. I just watch different people that do have inside information and they tell me some stuff. Okay. But please don't be distracted by all the stuff. Okay. Pray, vote, do your research. Stop caring about all the distraction, all the stuff taking your focus off. And just, again, I'm going to give a little plug. If you're watching the Super Bowl, watch the Turning Point USA halftime instead of the NFL halftime. Again, if you want to watch it, that's your opinion. It will all be in Spanish. If you know Spanish, that's great. He is probably going to burn American flag, so I don't think you want to see that. I don't want to see it. I want to watch stuff that I can understand and stuff about America since I live in America. So again, I'm sure I'll be called racist for that, but whatever. I live in America. So I care about America. Sorry, that's me. That's my opinion. So please like, share. If you want to say something, you want to leave a comment, go ahead. It's whatever. Somebody yesterday said something that I didn't agree with, and that's okay. It's a free country. Please tell me what you think. It's fine. I am free speech. Everyone has free speech. You can say what you want. It's whatever. Okay? So thank you so much for watching. Please like and share. I will be on tomorrow at regular time at 5 o'clock. Just today, I have to be somewhere at 5:30. So I came on early, but I thank you so much for all your support and have a nice evening. Please be safe if you're going anywhere to watch the Super Bowl and have a great evening.